Hello everyone, welcome to the new video series. In this video series, I'm going to start the next chapter, which is a chapter 2, sets, right? So first we are going to learn about what is the definition of a set. Let's begin. A set is a collection of numbers, shapes, letters, points, or other objects. That is a collection, basically, collection of anything. They forms a set because they fulfill certain conditions, right? So the notation for a set is a pair of curly brackets. This is how we show the set in a curly bracket. The collection of something, the collection of numbers, it can be a shape, letters, or any other object. And the individual member of a set is called its element of a set, right? A set can be defined by giving a rule which satisfies all the elements or by giving a list of elements. Okay, let me explain you what they are trying to say over here. The first thing is set is a collection of something, and the notation of a set is with the help of a curly brackets, and the individual members are basically called the elements of the sets. Okay, now how we define the set? By giving a rule which satisfy all the elements. For example, there is a set A, it is represented with the curly brackets, right? Integers from 1 to 10. That is a statement form, the rule. A set can be defined by giving a rule which satisfies all the elements. So the rule is integers from 1 to 10. From number 1 to number 10, this is a rule in a set. This is first way to represent a set, to define a set, right? Or there is another way by giving a list of elements. You can give a list of elements as well. For example, they're listing the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are two ways. So you can set a rule or you can just list the elements, right? So these are, every member of this set is called the element of a set, right? Okay, let's do an exercise. List the elements of the following set. Number 1, integers from 11 to 18. That is easy. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The first 5 prime numbers. Yes, 2 is a prime number. 5 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. Yeah, these are the first 5 prime numbers. So for the first one, we can list this as 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And for number 2, we have to write down the first 5 prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, not 9, 8, not 9, not 10, it's 11. Yeah. Okay, now for the third question, it says a factor of 12. So we have to list all the factors of 12. So you can see they are telling us the set in the form of a rule. They are telling us, they are giving us a rule and we have to list the elements of that set, right? Okay. So for the third one, we have to list the factors of 12, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not a factor of 12, 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11, it's 12 only. Okay, now for question 4, the multiples of 8 that is less than 50. Okay, the multiples of 8 which are less than 50. So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 would be 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. Yes, 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. These are only the multiples of 8 which are less than 50, because the next would be more than 50, right? Now for moving to number 5, we have vowels. Vowels, they are just giving you the rules. So you have to list the vowels in the alphabets A, E, I, O, and U. So these are the vowels. Okay, so this is a way to represent a set. So now I hope this clearly understand what is the definition of a set. Set is a collection of something. It can be a collection of numbers, it can be a collection of shapes, some letters, or anything. right? And it is also, notation is in terms of a curly bracket, and every member is called the elements of a set. There are two ways to define a set: by giving the rule or by listing the elements. All right, let's move to the next type of a set, which is a universal set. Okay, the universal set. All the sets in exercise 2.1 are finite set. Yes, they are finite, not infinite. They have certain members in the sets. All these sets are finite, right? This means they have a fixed number of elements. So when the sets are finite, they have a fixed number of elements, right? Set can also have an infinite number of elements. Sets can be finite or infinite. Now what we learned in this universal set section, that sets can be finite or it can be infinite. So for the finite sets, their number of elements are fixed. And when the number of elements are not fixed, so they are infinite. For example, multiples of 8 or prime numbers. You can see multiples of 8, there are so many multiples of 8, you can go till infinity, right? And prime numbers, there are so many prime numbers, so these are not finite sets, right? But if you list the multiples of 8 less than 50, that would be the finite. List the prime numbers, first 10 prime numbers, first 5 prime numbers, so that makes it a finite set. But if you just set prime numbers, they are infinite prime numbers. They're infinite multiples of 8, so those are infinite set. Most of the sets you are dealing with will be finite sets. So in this stage, like in O levels or IGCSE, the most of the sets which you guys are going to deal with, they will be finite. Okay, sometimes we make sure we are dealing with a finite set by defining a universal set. Okay, now what the universal set now? A universal set is a set from which, for a particular situation, all other sets will be taken. Okay, let's do an example. For example, if we define the universal set as a positive integers less than 50, okay, that is a universal set. I'm defining the universal set as a positive integers which are less than 50. So positive integers less than 50 are plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 till plus 50, right? Then the set in exercise 2.1, question number 5, would simplify be defined as multiples of 8. Okay, question number 4 and 2.1. Let's move up. This is 2.1 and question number 4. Multiples of 8 less than 50. Yeah, now I hope you can understand what is the concept of a universal set. So here they said that they are just defining the rule of a set that lists the multiples of 8 which are less than 50. But if we defined a universal set, that set of positive integers which are less than 50, and the set is defined as the multiples of 8. Just list up the multiples of 8, but the universal set is the positive integers which are less than 50. Right. I hope this makes sense now. Since you are only considering integers less than 50, yes. Okay. Now, similarly, let's do another example to make this concept more clear. Similarly, if you define the universal set as a positive integers less than 12, then the set in question number 2 would have been defined as a prime numbers. Only you can say the set is a prime number, right? And the universal set is a positive integers less than 12. Okay, so here this says the first 5 prime numbers. So the first 5 prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. All right. So if we said the set is a prime number, but the universal set is positive integers which are less than 12. So those, we can say these are the positive integers which are less than 12. Between 1 to 12, you have to just list the prime numbers. So this is how we define the universal set. Now let's talk about the notations of some set. The symbol for a universal set is this. This symbol we have used in exams for the universal set, right? Okay, now symbol this means is an element of. or you can say it belongs to some set, right? This means is an element of. We can say A is an element of set A, B, C, D, for example, right? Or we can say E is not an element of the set A, B, C, and D. This is how they define the symbol. This is not an element of or is an element of. So 3 belongs to or 3 is an element of a prime number. Yes. So we can say element of. 4 is not an element of a prime number because 4 is not a prime number. So this is how they represent the universal set notation is this. This symbol says it's an element of, this symbol says it's not an element of. Okay, so this is for today's video. We have learned the definition of a set, the 2 ways to represent a set with the help of a rule or with the help of by listing the numbers. And we have also learned about the universal set. What are the universal sets and the notations. Okay, so in the next video, I will explain you what are the Venn diagrams, how to draw the Venn diagrams and some types of sets as well. Stay tuned, see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.